Hello! In the last video I pointed out why you should do the first Vanguard mission. But before you can do that you need to pass the piloting test. It's actually not too difficult to pass, but let's just say that I spent way too much time trying to beat the last tier. That's actually one of the hardest space combat sequences in the game, so learning how to perform well in it is actually a good way to train your piloting and combat skills. I'll share some general tips on how to perform well in space combat too. The test involves 6 tiers and you get a standard ship. This footage is from level 6 and without any ship combat skills, but ultimately they don't seem to make any meaningful difference to the test.
Your exam is simple. Defeat as many
To join the
tiers
Vanguard
of
you only
opponents
need to
as
pass
you
the
can
first 3
with your ship
tiers,
disabled.
and they're pretty easy
You
all
must
things
defeat at least
considered.
3 tiers of opponents to
But a tip
pass
is
the
to get up
exam.
as soon as you sit
Good
down.
hunting, applicant.
Go back to the console near the entrance. You can enable ship upgrades for one tier and call an ally to help you. But if you have advanced hacking skills you can enable the debug menu. That allows you to set the upgrades to last for all tiers, and gives you an extra, more powerful ally. Save the allies for now, but enable the upgrades. You start with a single enemy ship. The best way to beat any single ship is to get behind it. This one is pretty low level and it's by itself, so you can't just tank its damage. But in general, don't get into the practice of engaging in a head-on fight. It's a really bad habit against groups of enemies, because shield regeneration takes some time to kick in, and any damage, no matter how small, resets the timer. Boost while avoiding their fire. Manually slow down when they get close and turn to get on their tail. About half speed tends to be good, but it really depends on the enemy ship. Lower speed means faster turns, so if you did it right, you should be right on their tail. Then increase your speed to match theirs. They should be easy meat now. And yes, don't be like me and forget to allocate energy. You should have enough to power all systems on this ship. Things get a bit tricky with multiple enemies. The nearest one often tries to play decoy and get you to chase it, but if you do that, the ones further out will have a clear shot at your rear. So don't do that. Instead you should target the ones further out if they're in range. Shields regenerate, so you should ideally focus on killing a single enemy at a time. Ideally the weaker ones first, so you're taking less fire overall. On a general note, lasers are best against shields, and missiles work in all situations. So fire them both until their shields go down. Both work by stocking up ammo. If you stop firing, they'll recharge back to 100, but you can fire at any time as long as you have ammo. More energy allocation means faster recharge. The particle cannons work in the same way too. You want to pause every so often to let them recharge ammo. Ballistics are specialized for hull damage. You can still use them to stop enemy shields regenerating while you recharge your laser and missile ammo. The point is that you should always be hitting enemies, even if you're not doing much damage. You'll get a message that you've passed once you beat tier 3, but you can continue on and challenge more difficult tiers for a bigger cash reward. As soon as you get the message, leave the seat and go back to the debug console. Now you want to enable both allies. It is a bit early, but the reason is that the simulation still continues while you're getting up and back into your seat. If you try and call your allies later, they tend to get destroyed or take a lot of damage before you can help. The 4th tier gives you a single but powerful ship. You should go down quickly and you can see that our allies took shield damage, but that will regenerate. The 5th tier gives you 4 of the same powerful ships. It's almost impossible to survive this level without at least one ally to draw the enemy's attention away from you. In this case, we were lucky enough to keep both allies, even though they sustained some damage. Unfortunately, the last tier is downright cheesy. You get 5 even more powerful ships, and your allies go down in seconds. You get a couple of repairs, but enemy fire is now focused on you, and it's only barely enough to keep you alive. Make sure you use boosters to break missile lock. In this case we lost our ballistic weapon, so it was difficult to finish off the third enemy. So we came pretty close, but as you can see we had two fully healthy enemies right behind us, so the chances of actually winning this tier were pretty slim. The biggest problem is that your weapons are just not powerful enough. Outside the simulation you can easily upgrade your ship weapons, and there's every chance you'll be able to defeat a similar group. But on the other hand, giving you a mediocre ship is great for training your combat skills. You'll get plenty of practice on how to avoid enemy fire, break missile locks, and understand that focusing on killing off enemies pays off. You can do the test as many times as you want, but you'll have to start from the beginning when you come back in. Once you get a bit of practice, the first 3 tiers will become routine. At first it will be a bit difficult to beat tier 5, but if you trigger the allies after you beat tier 3 like I said before, you should be able to consistently defeat that level. Tier 6 seems impossible, but I'm sure that someone will post a comment about having done it. So congratulations to anybody who has fully beat the piloting test. Thanks for watching all the way to the end. Let me know what you thought about it in the comments. Feel free to leave a like, subscribe and hit the bell button to be notified when new videos come out. See you soon.